Hey there. Let's dive right in, because I'm sure you're here to make real progress. Most of us have been misled when it comes to food and nutrition. Society, your friends, your family. Everyone seems to have different opinions on what's right and what's wrong when it comes to eating. But the truth is, a lot of these beliefs have been fed to us without any real foundation, leaving many of us feeling confused and stuck. Here's the thing. You've been taught the wrong things, and it's time to undo that. It's time to unlearn those bad habits and start fresh. Today, I'm going to guide you through how to eat properly, not by jumping on some fad diet, but by understanding what really works in the long term. We're all looking for that secret sauce, right? How to lose weight, maintain a strong physique, and feel good, without feeling lost or overwhelmed. Well, stick around because by the end of this, you'll know exactly what steps you need to take. The trap of intuitive eating. Let's talk about something that's been buzzing around in the health world for a while. Intuitive eating. It's a concept that sounds perfect on paper. Eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full, and you'll be good. That's how we ate as kids, right? As babies, we didn't know about calories, carbs, or protein. We just ate until we were satisfied, and then we stopped. But let's be real for a second. Does that work in today's world? The answer is, not for everyone. Sure, intuitive eating might work for some, but for many, it's not the solution they hope it to be. Why? Because our world has changed dramatically. Back in the day, food was something you had to hunt for or grow yourself. It was scarce, so you ate what you could when you found it, and you didn't always know when your next meal would be. Fast forward to today, and food is everywhere, and not just any food. We're talking high-calorie, processed, and incredibly tasty options that are available 24/7. So how can you trust your body to tell you to stop eating when there's a box of cookies or a bag of chips calling your name? The reality is, intuitive eating can backfire. If you're surrounded by processed foods that have been engineered to make you crave more, it's really easy to overeat, even if you're trying to listen to your body. For example, let's say you're already full, but there's cake at a party. Intuitive eating might not stop you from having that slice. You're not necessarily hungry, but the temptation is real. And that's where intuitive eating falls short. It doesn't account for the way food is marketed and designed today. So, if you're finding that intuitive eating isn't helping you reach your goals, you're not alone. Mindful eating, the smarter approach. So, what's the alternative? This is where mindful eating comes into play, and this is something I believe everyone can benefit from. Unlike intuitive eating, mindful eating requires you to actively think about what you're eating and why. It's about making informed choices, not just going with the flow. You see, food is more than just fuel. It affects everything from how we feel to how we perform physically and mentally. Mindful eating is simple in concept, but takes a little practice to master. Instead of just eating because you're bored, stressed, or because the food is there, mindful eating involves being conscious of what you're putting into your body. It's about being aware of how certain foods affect your energy levels, your mood, and your overall health. For example, let's say you're craving pizza. Now, instead of just grabbing that slice without thinking, ask yourself, is this the best choice for me right now? If you're trying to maintain or lose weight, maybe that pizza isn't the smartest option at this moment. But mindful eating isn't about deprivation either. It's about balance. Maybe you have one slice and then fill up on something healthier like a salad or lean protein. That's mindful eating. Being aware of your choices and making adjustments that work for you. Understanding caloric density. Here's where things get really practical. One of the keys to mindful eating is understanding caloric density. Caloric density refers to how many calories are in a given weight or volume of food. Foods with low caloric density provide fewer calories per gram, but tend to be more filling, while foods with high caloric density pack in a lot of calories for a small amount of food. Let's compare two scenarios. You have 500 calories worth of potato chips which might fit into a small bowl. On the other hand, you could have 500 calories of lean chicken breast, vegetables, and a side of sweet potatoes. That second option is going to be way more filling than the chips, even though they have the same number of calories. Why? Because of the volume and the nutritional value. Foods like vegetables, lean proteins, and complex carbs are naturally lower in calories, but higher in nutrients and fiber, making them more filling and satisfying. This is why understanding caloric density is so important. If you're eating mostly high-calorie, low-volume foods, you'll probably end up overeating because those foods don't fill you up as much. But if you focus on low-calorie, nutrient-dense foods, you can eat more, feel full, and still lose weight or maintain a healthy physique. It's a win-win. One of the biggest mistakes people make when it comes to eating is not knowing enough about the foods they consume. And I get it. Reading labels and understanding nutrition can feel overwhelming at first. But here's the truth. Knowledge is power. The more you learn about food, the easier it becomes to make smarter choices. You'll start to recognize which foods are going to help you reach your goals and which ones might be holding you back. If you're serious about your health and fitness goals, one of the best things you can do is take the time to educate yourself. Learn about macronutrients, proteins, fats, and carbs, and how they affect your body. Understand how to read food labels so you can make informed decisions. It might seem like a lot at first, but over time, it becomes second nature. Now, I know this is a lot of information, but if you're finding this useful, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Staying informed is key, and I'm here to help you on that journey. Another critical element of mindful eating is portion control. Even the healthiest foods can sabotage your progress if you're eating too much of them. Yes, you heard that right. You can overeat on healthy foods too. Just because something is labeled as healthy doesn't mean you should eat it in unlimited quantities. Take nuts, for example. They're a fantastic source of healthy fats, but they're also incredibly calorie-dense. A small handful can pack in a couple of hundred calories, and if you're mindlessly snacking on them throughout the day, those calories can add up quickly. Portion control doesn't mean you have to weigh every single thing you eat, but it does mean being mindful of how much you're consuming. A great way to keep portions in check is to use smaller plates and bowls. Studies have shown that we tend to eat less when we use smaller dishes because our brain perceives the portion as larger. It's a simple trick, but it works. Another important part of mindful eating is learning to distinguish between hunger and cravings. Hunger is your body's way of telling you it needs fuel, whereas cravings are often driven by emotions, boredom, or environmental cues. How many times have you found yourself reaching for a snack simply because you're bored or because you saw a TV commercial for something delicious? To tackle this, before you eat something, ask yourself, am I really hungry or is this just a craving? If it's just a craving, try to wait it out. Drink a glass of water, take a short walk, or distract yourself with an activity. If you're still hungry after 15 to 20 minutes, then go ahead and eat something. But you might be surprised at how often cravings pass if you give them a little time. Here's the deal. If you want to achieve your health and fitness goals, you need to find an approach to eating that works for you long term. Diets come and go, but the habits you build will last a lifetime. The key is to find a balance between enjoying your food and making mindful choices that align with your goals. Mindful eating isn't a diet, it's a lifestyle. It's about making small, sustainable changes that you can stick with for the long haul. And remember, it's not about perfection. You don't have to get it right every time. The goal is progress, not perfection. If you're ready to take control of your eating habits and start seeing real results, start practicing mindful eating today. Focus on portion control, learn about the foods you're consuming, and make small adjustments that add up over time. And before you go, don't forget to check out more videos to keep learning and growing. Click on the left and right to dive deeper into topics.